Hi, Markus. Welcome back.
Hi, Adam. Hey, thank you for having me again.
Yeah. I could ask you, again, what was your first computer? You still remember? What was it?
It was C64, of course.
Okay. This was the two-factor authentication. Now you are Markus. So you know where you were the last time here?
I don't know exactly. I think it was 1.5 years again.
Yeah, exactly. It was May the 12th of 2019. Crazy. Cool. This was the episode 36 of Java Native Database was the title of the episode. And now 1 year, 1.5 years later, now I'm curious what happened to MicroStream. I think you are still active. I don't know exactly what you are doing. So you hired me once last year, I think, or early this year I was in your company. And since then I just saw there are lots of talks from you and your colleagues about MicroStream. So what are the MicroStream news?
Yes, we changed the name of the company and the product because it was in actually kind of prototype. Mm-hmm. And then we changed the name and founded a company. And now we're talking about going open source. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and MicroStream is a storage framework for storing object graphs. And the thing is, you can store single objects as well as subgraphs, and you can load single objects and load single subgraphs on demand, and it merges the object automatically into the object graph, so that you don't have to deal with object copies. And this is actually what MicroStream does. It's a storage engine to store Java object graphs persistently into any data store.
Yeah. So what I understood is you have a kind of a context object, and then you can, from this context object, you get back Java objects, and the Java objects are just POJOs, and they are persistent, right?
Yeah, right. You only need a Java object graph in the memory. You can use any Java classes, so there are no annotations needed, no interfaces to implement. So as you mentioned, just POJOs, and you can store any Java types. And so you are also able to use object of third-party libraries. You can store almost everything that Java provides. It's not possible to store a thread, of course, so everything that makes sense can be stored by MicroStream. And the special thing is that it's based on a new Java serialization that is written from scratch, so it does not base on the Java serialization, because with the Java serialization, it's not possible to do that. Mm-hmm. So with MicroStream, we can really load single subgraphs, and this is the core feature of this serialization.
Mm-hmm. Which databases are supported?
Yeah, currently we support the Oracle databases, the Oracle relational database, as well as Oracle NoSQL, MySQL is supported. Then we support distributed caches like Coherence, and the Cloud Blob stores, the Oracle object store is supported. And from the next version, we will release connectors to all major database systems. So also the open source database systems, more enterprise database systems, and Amazon S3. So almost everything which is on a market.
So you are not using JDBC, right? So you are using your own direct connection to a database, right?
Yeah, right. So we store binaries only. So there is no more object relational mapping, or there's no more mapping at all, like mapping to NoSQL databases. So this is a totally different approach. You store only the serialized binaries. This is the concept.
So you could also just write, the binaries directly to S3, right? Would also work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because actually it's a key value store.
Yeah.
And we can store the binaries almost any database system. So we can also use the relational databases for that, key value stores, of course, and also document-based databases.
But the document databases will end up having they will degrade to key value again, right? So the key would be an ID and the value would be the blob.
That's similar, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what it means is I could, as developer, also use MicroStream and work against a flat file, right? So I could store it in a file as well. Is this possible?
Yeah, of course, this is possible. So we
you say,
recommend...
of course. I mean, I mean, are you supporting this?
Yeah, we support that. Yeah, it's based on a serialization, or MicroStream in the core actually is a serialization, and so this is for us, of course, because we can write the binary files directly into plain files.
The Java serialization mechanism has some security challenges, I would say, right? So some people even regret that the serialization is there. Is MicroStream more secure than the Java serialization, or you did some tests with it?
Yes, we did. So because MicroStream works totally different, so it's a fundamentally new serialization. So this is very important to say and to repeat this, that is not based on a Java serialization. And the problem with the Java serialization is that the code or through deserialization, code is executed, and you cannot avoid this. So this is not possible. And with MicroStream, this is totally different. So it's not possible to inject and execute code through deserialization, and that's the main difference. And so one of the biggest security leaks of Java is solved.
Yeah. I just was a little bit afraid to ask you the question because I forgot whether you actually still understand Java code. So you're still coding, or are you more, the manager, PowerPoint, and slide manager? You still understand Java code?
Yeah. Yes, I do, but you're right. So my role is CEO, and I'm in the slide full area.
Oh, slide full. Okay, that's the opposite from my. Okay, so your hashtag is slide full, right? Is my slide less? Okay,
right.
And you regret that? Are you enjoy your slide full role now, or what the slide less times better?
Yeah, sometimes I would prefer sitting in my own room and only coding, doing trying new things out, and but yeah, this is not possible. So, but I also like the manager role. This is very, very interesting, and I'm responsible for all the strategies. So what should we do next, and what connectors to databases, or should we focus more on cloud natives? So this is very interesting, and I have to learn more architecture stuff and cooperations with other companies. Currently, we have this hackathon in cooperation with the Oracle Labs, in particular the Helidon project and GraalVM. So this is very exciting.
Yeah. You know roughly how MicroStream works under the hood. So you have the Java POJO, and what happens with the POJOs? You have is it a Java agent? So you are manipulating, how it works roughly? Roughly.
So yes. Yeah, we read the object IDs from the memory, and we don't use the object IDs that are used by the JVM. So we abstract these object IDs and use our own object IDs to store the objects persistently on disk, and then we read the object IDs back into the memory. Then we generate the new objects in the memory, generate the object graph, and then it's possible to preload objects and subgraphs, and you can decide which objects or subgraphs do you want to load on demand. And and accessing objects is very simple. So there are no more selects like in the relational model. So there are only getters.
Okay.
So this is very convenient programming model.
And is MicroStream fast? I mean, if I compare MicroStream to whatever, so do you have some performance comparisons or?
Yes, we have seen that in many projects, but we wanted to prove that in a kind of like bookstore demo. Everybody can download this from GitHub and try MicroStream out. So there are two programs. One is written with in JPA with Spring Boot and using Hibernate EH cache, and the other application is implemented with MicroStream. This proves that with MicroStream, all database queries are up to 1,000 times faster. Sometimes only 10 times, sometimes 100 times. Why? Because the reason is this is not the MicroStream magic. It's actually core Java. It's Streams API. Because MicroStream is not a database system, so we only load the object graph in the memory, and we store the object graph in the subgraphs, and the rest is for Java. So it's only Streams API. And then when we compare this, the time, the loading time, and the query time, then we see that it's almost up to 1,000 times faster than a JPA query can be. Yeah, because the Streams API are so fast. Querying a huge and complex object graph in a memory, it takes only microseconds.
This is what I can imagine. What I did a hack in the past is we had some troubles with JPA and lazy loading. And what we did as a proof of concept, we switched to eager loading, and we loaded, the entire model per role. So the application was like role based. So there were reports and whatever. So you loaded whatever would belong to you into memory. And then we just used, Java 8 Stream API to traverse the objects. And this was, of course, a lot faster because everything was already in the memory and there was no deserialization. What I also can imagine, if you have a JPA, so at the end of the day, there's JDBC, and JDBC talks to the backend via SQL. And, and if you have lazy loading, you have the n+1 problem. So you have one query plus, the n side is loaded. In your case, I think you are able to load more from a database with a single I/O operation.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So you are loading the entire graph once from the database, and then you are done, and then you can traverse the object in memory. And in JPA, there are more interactions needed with the database, and every interaction requires some latency or causes some latency because we have, the backend pings back and forth, and this takes some time. So I would say this is the main reason I think why it can be faster, right?
Yeah, you're totally right. That's true. So we only have the I/O process, and we can do this in parallel. So the more cores the hardware provides, the faster it is. So it's multi-threaded. And then the object graph is updated automatically, and then there are only streams on the object graph, and so this is the reason why it's super fast. And we have measured this very often, and it's always the same. The process, the I/O process, is the slowest part of MicroStream.
Yeah.
And but when you have loaded the graph or the subgraph, then it's super fast, and the user can decide if you want to load the entire object graph in the memory. So if you have enough memory and your data storage size is not too big, so gigabytes or so, and then you can load the entire database, the entire object graph into the memory. But this is not mandatory. So this is very important to say that if you have, for instance, a terabyte of storage data size and only 4 gig memory, then you can load only maybe 1 gigabyte into the memory, and then you can load the what you need on demand with lazy loading.
Can you configure this in MicroStream? You say,
yeah, sure.
Okay, so you can say only 1 gig and no more, right?
Yeah, sure. So you can define your classes as lazy or eager. So if it's not lazy, then it's automatically eager. So,
are you able to use the off-heap memory in Java, like memory map buffers? You know that?
Yeah, we do that.
Okay, interesting, because this is like the enterprise feature of most NoSQL databases, where you can say, okay, we can just maintain the objects in off-heap, and this does not consume the heap. You say you're the architect and the strategist. Now I'm curious. So what I think is that the memory becomes persistent. So now we have RAM, but with the technology like the Intel Optane, we should be able, to keep everything in persistent, in very fast memory all the time.
Yeah.
Did you already had a look at the Optane from Intel, or did some experiments with that?
We didn't play around with it, so it's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know how convenient it is already.
Very convenient. So actually, I thought because of the pandemic, I will have more time this year to experiment, which is not true. But my hope was I could build a new server with the Optane memory. It is not that expensive, and then you could keep more, in RAM, and this would become, persistent. And which I think this is the future, because it's not that expensive. I took a look a few years ago. It came out, I think, 2 years ago. And it was not thousands of euros, it was like hundreds of euros. And back then, prior to that, there were specific, cards, which were, I think it was like buffered RAM or something, which was far more expensive than this. So this is actually, you should do this, because this is interesting. This is the future, right? Because then there's no more loading. You can keep everything in memory forever, and this is really, really fast.
Yes, this would be the dreamland solution, and we would have the same approach of the programming model, like we do this with MicroStream already, because then the developers only have to think like Java developers. So you don't have to think about, okay, which data structure should I use? How should I build my object model that it works with a relational model or so? And you don't have to think about building indexes and so on. So then you can use all the Java stuff, Java collections. Then you can use everything. And this is actually the same approach like we do with MicroStream. So this is really the MicroStream way. So this is very convenient. And if your hardware supports this out of the box, then this is the dreamland solution, of course. And maybe there are several reasons why you want to persist the data on a disk. Then you can use MicroStream for that. This would be the perfect combination.
Yeah, just you told something now about the collections, that it would because developers use collections. And what I remember is I took a look at a cache, which is also using Quarkus. It's called Caffeine cache. And the interesting part is this concurrent cache. And this cache from outside is a map, concurrent hash map. But the implementation comes with concurrency, and they have last recently used and most recently used. All these strategies are backed into the cache. And this also the same cache is used by Infinispan. So what you could do, just take a look at the Caffeine cache, because you could actually use the MicroStream as a backing storage. It could be interesting combination. I don't know whether it's necessary, but then you get just take a look at this, because it's an interesting cache. It's called Caffeine, comes with as a map. And they can specify the policies as self-optimizing cache, and it's already used in Quarkus, so it could be actually an interesting fit.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's called Caffeine. Okay, at GitHub. Okay, so now what you mentioned right now, that you would like to make MicroStream open source. Why?
Yeah, why? Good question.
Yeah,
really. Because MicroStream is a Java library, and Java libraries actually have to be open source, because it's more convenient for developers. So developers want to use open source. They want to see the source code, finding maybe bugs faster. And for our clients, it's very important that MicroStream is supported independently from a community for many years. So if you use a technology, then and you use it in your product, for instance, then you want to use this for maybe decades. And so it is very important that the solution is supported for many years, and it's guaranteed that it's supported. We are startup. We are still startup, and it's mostly hard to be accepted by bigger companies. So and open source will help us. And of course, for growing, so we want to build up a strong community and it's very many developers are very interested in MicroStream. So and we want to use this. So want to enable developers to join the MicroStream project, to grow faster and to get accepted and to be included into other libraries.
Yeah,
which are growing on a market. So
I think for a startup it's really important to have a adoption first, right? Because with open source you get broader adoption and okay. So, but I think or I hope you will still sell commercial support for MicroStream, right?
Yes, this is also important. There are two reasons. One reason is that for our clients, it's very important that they get commercial support. So this is necessary. And the other thing is, we must finance the development. So how do you pay your developers? So you must need you have to have a business model for that.
Yeah, and what is your business model? Is it commercial support or commercial features?
Currently we have both. Currently it's still closed source, and we provide a community edition. The community edition is brings connectors to the MySQL and currently SQLite database. Then with all the open source databases, and the enterprise edition provides connectors to all enterprise databases. And that's it. And the enterprise edition includes long-term support. And when we go open source, then we will keep this, but open sourcing the community edition, and we also will support and open source the connectors to the open source databases. We will keep this long-term support in the enterprise edition. So this is very important for our clients. So we provide 8 years or even longer long-term support. Fixing bugs, and this is very important.
What you mentioned also that you cooperate with Oracle Labs, and Oracle Labs is, of course, there's a GraalVM, right? So it's one of the project is GraalVM. The other project is, of course, Helidon. It's not from Oracle Labs, I think, technically, but it's from Oracle. Helidon is open source project. And have you ever tried, to cross-compile? Is it possible to run MicroStream on GraalVM in native mode?
Yes, it is. We have already an example on the website and in our docs. And yes, we can use this in native images as well. And what we currently trying out is, we check if we can use MicroStream also with other languages like JavaScript, Node.js, based on GraalVM.
Yeah, it has to be possible, because in GraalVM, you can run Java, R, Python in the same memory space. I mean, this is the same. I mean, for GraalVM, everything is the same, and you can just, call back and forth. So it should be possible. I think it will be harder to persist JavaScript objects. This is the challenge, but the interaction should work, actually. So this is actually great news. I didn't know that, because this was probably a little bit tricky, because or not for you, not that tricky, because you know all the objects. But what you have to do in GraalVM, you have to register all the classes to GraalVM, because if you have something dynamic, right? So you have to tell GraalVM, look, these are the classes, and please cross-compile them. This has to be done. But in your case, because you have to know all the classes anyway, it was probably easier than for other projects. But it's actually great news. So have you performance comparisons? Because what I suspected, native image is a little bit slower than the native Java image. Startup is faster. It consumes less memory, but the runtime performance also in your case doesn't matter, because there's not like you have some CPU intensive tasks. This will be more the problem of an application than yours. But this was but still interesting that you did it.
Yes, this was very important, because we have a hackathon together with the GraalVM team, and so this should work with native images as well. And yes, it's proven it really works. So this is really a great combination. MicroStream for super fast database access, and GraalVM provides super fast startup time. So this is great news for Java.
What's even better fit, I would say, with Helidon, because what really surprising by Helidon is that they are obsessed with performance. So for them, performance is everything. And I had already chat, with the Helidon developers, and they have own, performance measuring frameworks and stuff like that. And they just rewrote Helidon from scratch just to have the best possible performance. And this would be interesting part, because what I'm interested in more in Helidon is the microprofile part, because it is what actually my project's demanding. The Java SE part is even more performant, but less interesting for my projects, I would say. But if I could just imagine that MicroStream on Helidon is a great fit, because microprofile right now does not come with any persistence API. So I would even either have to use JPA, or I could just use MicroStream to persist my objects, and this would be one possible option. And with Helidon, and with or without Graal and MicroStream.
Yeah, definitely. I think, or we believe that this is a perfect fit, and this is also the reason why we want to do this hackathon together with the GraalVM and the Helidon team, and to see what the community is building with these three pieces of puzzle, and together with these three technologies, I'm convinced we can build really incredible stuff. And we want to see what the community thinks, and what they are building, and maybe we get some performance tests, and to see how fast Java can be with these three components. I guess we can build incredible things.
Yeah, and what you also get for free, I don't know whether they are aware of that, there was another framework called Micronaut. And Oracle, the main guy, I think it's Graham Rocher, is working for Oracle right now, and what will happen is they will provide like persistent services from Micronaut to Helidon. So there will be integration between both frameworks, which gives even more adoption if it works well, because then it will mean that maybe Micronaut is also will run on MicroStream would run on Micronaut. You see, lots of micros.
Right.
And what I'm also curious about, if you will work more closely with Helidon guys, they are very reactive. Everything has to be reactive. So I think so. Do you have any ideas? I mean, does the reactive programming affect MicroStream at all? Or is it, because you are just fetching objects, then you can do whatever you like. But what I could imagine is, if someone else changes the database from other node. So this could be an interesting feature to push the changes live. So then I can subscribe to MicroStream changes and receive the events. This would be like reactive integration. Know what I mean?
It depends on the developer. So you have to be careful what you're doing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not recommended to have two different JVMs accessing to a MicroStream storage. So you have to be very careful if you want to do this. But in a reactive way, this can work. So we recommend to use messaging for that.
Yeah.
For instance, with Kafka, you can do this.
Yeah, this will be the next thing, because I could actually use MicroStream on top of Kafka.
Yes, I know a very famous person. He created this phrase. This is object stream mapping.
Yeah.
You know that guy?
This was just an idea, because if you, I think the CDC, change data capture, CDC, this is like Debezium, is really useful practice sometimes to convert a static database to a history of events, right? You have like a list of events. And I see the MicroStream a little bit here in this direction, where I'm just dealing with Java objects and the history is captured in Kafka. You know what I mean? So I would get something like Hibernate Inverse on top of MicroStream, because if I deal with MicroStream directly, I change the object, it is changed. But if MicroStream would serialize the changes to Kafka, I would have, the entire state of the entire object graph over and over again. So I could move the history back and forth. This would be, the added value. And with that, you are reactive. Of course, if the object graph is 2 gigs, forget it, because every Kafka message would be 2 gigs of just too big. But for smaller object graphs, could be actually interesting option, right?
Yeah, definitely. And after we have discussed this, and you mentioned that could be a good fit, then we immediately created the connector to Kafka, and it's finished now, and we will release it in the upcoming version of MicroStream. Then it's open.
Yeah, because then the Kafka becomes the persistence, no more the database.
Right.
I could just write a node to one MicroStream node, and on the other side, someone could consume. And with Helidon, with the reactive messaging, you get direct integration to Kafka. This would be perfect, probably an idea for the hackathon, right?
Yeah, definitely. This is very interesting, and it's also working with Redis, and we will provide the connector to Redis as well.
By the way, Redis also great idea. Why? Because Redis, they try imitate Kafka even. They have a very similar functionality to Kafka. They have also a distributed event architecture. So Redis will be, of course, this is lesser known. I would say Redis started as in memory cache, and right now they are almost on the Kafka level already. But it's lesser known. The features are lesser known to the community. So Kafka, I think, is more interesting for marketing reasons. And Redis, of course, if you have a Kafka integration, you could do the same with Redis. I forgot what's the name in Redis. It's something like streams as well. So you can synchronize the caches via streams already in Redis.
Yes, I guess they call it Redis messages also.
Something like this, right?
Yeah.
And what's also interesting in Postgres, so what the Postgres database is also able to do, and Oracle as well, of course, is if someone changes the Postgres database, you can receive an event via gDBC even, without even going too deep. And with Debezium, I have no idea whether we talk about it or not, you can hook into Postgres, and it will convert the changes in a table into Kafka stream. In your case, is less interesting because you have a blob, basically. And one question: do you have a custom serializers? Could I tell you, I don't like to have a binary blob. I would like to have, let's say, just extreme example, a JSON. Would it be able to serialize the objects to JSON for me if I pay you money?
Basically, I would say yes, this is possible.
Yeah.
We haven't tried this out or thought about this because of it would slow down the deserialization dramatically, but basically it's possible. So we also thought about a key value. Kind of like NoSQL layer on top of MicroStream. So it would be very easy to set up a NoSQL database on top of MicroStream, because you can choose any data type, any Java type, and you can use really any data model and data structure. So this is why I often say that I believe that the object graph in Java is already a kind of like multi-model database. Yeah, because we are able to use any data structure in Java already, and this is more convenient than the databases do, because we see these all these different data structures in the database systems, and now they want to become multi-model, to be used in really in all cases. When we think about this domain-driven design model, then the databases sometimes cannot be used in any domain, but they want to be used in any domain. So they want to become multi-model, and Java is already multi-model. So this is Java developers mostly don't think about it. So they cannot believe that we have a language that is much more powerful than the Java data than the database systems are.
I think it happens naturally, because with Kafka and similar solutions like Kafka and Redis, for instance, right? So where it's the combination of topics and streams and persistence. This is the key. With that, the database becomes less important. So in my some of my current projects, we plan only have databases for exceptional cases. Like in one project, we will probably just use Elastic for full text search, but the entire persistence is going to be Kafka. But what you need as developer is you would like to still to have nice Java objects. So and this is why I'm asking, because what I will do is, in your case, is just to consider protocol buffers, for instance, a serialization mechanism, and Avro, for instance, what Kafka supports, and both are fast JSON-like data structure almost, and then I could can use just MicroStream almost like a database, work with the objects, and then I get the format back to Kafka or not. So then I can even use gRPC and talk with other nodes or whatever. So this is just as an idea.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. When MicroStream becomes open source, you know it? Tomorrow or when? What is the?
The plan is to open source with at the beginning next year.
Okay.
With
nice.
The first releases next year, we want to open source the first parts of MicroStream, and so we have to be careful about the patents. So we have to clarify something before we open source the first packages, and then we will do it again and again and more and more. And we have not already decided which license we want to use. So now we have some months time until January. So then we will decide this, I guess, in January.
Yeah, I think the hardest decision for you is whether you would like to have some, commercial features hold back, or everything is going to be to be open source. Because I think if you open source everything, it is a little bit harder for the business. Because some companies won't just pay and they don't care, or they don't even know that there is commercial features necessary, and it could be also misused if you become the big, the big open source projects. What many are struggling, Redis, for instance, or Elastic. Yeah. So the cloud provider just took the open source version and they have nothing for that, right? So I think it's always a good idea to expect enterprise features, which means like organizational features. If you have some such a thing like authentication, authorization, everything which requires more enterprisey stuff, and all the open source version is basically perfect for smaller companies and developers. This could be a nice model.
Yes, but it's a little bit different to the databases. They provide authentication and so on, and can provide this as enterprise features. But with MicroStream, we do not plan to provide such things. So the strategy actually is really to focus on what MicroStream actually is, and this is storing the object graphs. So we believe in separate of concerns, and not to be a software, a part of software that want to manage everything for you, for the developers, and forcing the developers to adapt your features and building wrappers around it. So like we see in database systems, so many Java developers they hate it when they have to use features that are provided by external systems, because we always believe we can do it better in Java, and we do it better, and we don't want to use this stuff, and then we wrap it, and then the complexity increases more and more. So we believe that most of these features are built in Java by the developers already. So they care for authentication, they care for concurrency, they care for everything. So our philosophy is that the Java application becomes the database system, and this is a paradigm shift.
But I gave you one example, for instance, as a few years ago in JPA, I would say 10% of my project was persistence. So my clients were extremely interested in I don't know how to call it, but let's say authorization on JPA level. So what they wanted to have, that the specific roles only see specific fields. And for that, we built our own frameworks. There was a thing called JPA security, a custom framework from the, and we use on different levels. And such a feature is really hard to implement it with a wrapper. Because if the object is out, it's really hard to tell, is now the field null, or I cannot see the result, or I cannot see, or I'm not supposed to see what's inside. You could do that. If you provide a hook, this is the role admin. Admin is able to see all the fields of the object. But the role, let's say, guest only sees, the description. And only you could do this with a hook. For instance, such a thing, so it wouldn't, the clients who are interested in it could pay a considerable amount of money, to get the feature. And all others don't care and would just not see the feature at all. So I think such a things, these killer features are crucial because you could, the larger project could save, a huge amount of money. And the smaller projects don't care and they won't even see it because in your case, it's not like you need, an API. Your APIs will be hooks. You have a context and say, tell me who you are, and you can do before JSON Web Token or OpenID Connect, whatever you have. And then you say, I'm the admin. Then you can give me, the object, and I will try to invoke a getter, whatever. I could get exception or whatever you can do. This could be such a feature which could be useful.
Yes, this sounds really interesting, and there are several features that are basically interesting, but we will really prove that carefully. And what we want to avoid is building features that developers don't like. So they are enforcing them to use anything that is specially provided by MicroStream, so really special proprietary stuff. So if we can deliver value to the developers, then with additional APIs, this is a great idea. So we will prove that and want to we would like hear from the community what they want to have. And
the problem is you won't never hear from the community because 90% of the project are not interested at all. So you only hear it from a few huge projects. And in such projects, probably a company will just implement proprietary solution, because this is like how it goes. So I think such a features could be interesting, just as an idea. And I mean, interesting, fair, and completely accepted by everyone, I would say, right? And by the way, the name of the project, I found it right now. It was last published in 2011, so it was even longer than I thought. And it's called JPA Security from SourceForge. You can take a look at this. They tried to do it with JPA, and back then it was huge. And this was based on Java security. And I don't think I used this project, but I got lots of questions back then about that. And you can get some inspiration.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Your ideas are always good.
My problem is, just idea. Execution is a different thing, and I'm never built a persistence framework, So this is like what I see from outside. It's just a conversation, so don't take it too seriously. It's just a brainstorming here. And to the audience, the listeners, you approach me with the hackathon. I say, okay, look, I have no time. We can reuse the time, and we can record a podcast and have a conversation. Those are like synchronization, It's nothing is prepared. We just have freestyle conversation, and which might be interesting to the listeners. So, what about the hackathon? What is it? So you mentioned this already. So this is so I'm supposed to be a judge. So I said yes. So now I'm committed. So and what will happen? So there is a hackathon. So what is it?
Yeah, we have started a 3-month hackathon. We have started this on November 5, and we want to see what the community thinks about MicroStream, what they are building.
What are they supposed to do to create an app with MicroStream, or what do you expect?
Yes, the participants can build whatever they like. They have to use MicroStream and show any exciting use cases and how MicroStream integrates with GraalVM and Helidon. This is not mandatory, but if anybody want to use GraalVM and Helidon, then they can win an additional GraalVM award and Helidon award. And we have $20,000 in total. And we have many prizes. So the first prize is $5,000, second prize is $3,000, third prize is $2,000, 10 prizes $500, And then we have the Helidon award, $2,500, and the GraalVM $2,500. Mm-hmm. Everybody who is registered gets a T-shirt. And then the participants have almost 3 months time to build. And during the entire hackathon, we provide many online sessions. So every week we provide sessions about GraalVM, Helidon, MicroStream, and some core Java sessions about Streams API, GraphQL, everything that is interesting and helpful for building applications using MicroStream, GraalVM, and Helidon together. And then we provide a weekly Q&A every Thursday. Mm-hmm. So all the participants can ask questions, and the questions are answered by the people who write the code. So this is very interesting and a good opportunity for everybody who wants to start with GraalVM, with Helidon. They can also use the hackathon forum, and if they are not able to join live, then we answer the questions during the weekly Q&A session.
That means, so if you are a Java developer, you can just participate in the hackathon, and then you hack something with MicroStream, and so you get you can win a prize. Then if you do something with MicroStream, Helidon, and GraalVM, you get 2 awards more, so do you have more chances to win something. And then in the Thursday Q&A session, you can answer. You get more visibility as a developer because you could participate in Q&A session, right? This is what I understood.
Yes, everybody can participate into the Q&A sessions, ask the questions, and can discuss their challenges with their app they develop for the hackathon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really asking everything what they like to know about Helidon, GraalVM, and MicroStream. Mm-hmm. So this is a good opportunity to meet the people also from the Oracle teams. Mm-hmm. They sometimes will join to the weekly Q&A, not all sessions, but
they are Helidon and GraalVM team, right?
Yes. Yeah,
it's great, actually great. So what we get in the next 3 months is like a continuous stream of screencasts, a micro stream of screencasts about Java technologies, Helidon and MicroStream and GraalVM.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And because this is actually great, because the next 3 months, for many people, it's a little bit boring time. So
no, don't say this, it's end of year. That's the problem. But you're right. So that there is a Christmas, which is a little bit more quiet than usual. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they can spend time with trying new things out, hacking something, asking questions, looking or joining to the live sessions we provide. All sessions are recorded as well, so we can watch the videos. And the goal actually is really to learn, to hack, and really to use it after the award. So not only hacking 2 days or 1 day, programming cool stuff, winning a prize, and that's it. So it's more, really learning, hacking, and using the technology after you win the prize.
Sorry, one question. The project, do they have to be open source? I assume so, right?
Yes, it's they have
to
nice.
Open source. No, if you will force the participants to have GitHub repository.
Yeah, right. And it's it should be under Apache license, and then we open source it, and so we provide interviews with the winners, and they can explain what they built and their challenges and what they have solved, and then so we will have, after this hackathon, many examples what can be done with MicroStream, with GraalVM and Helidon. And for other beginners, they can use it. They can play around with these solutions and try these things out. So this is the goal of this hackathon.
I have to say, brilliant ideas, because you get lots of use cases, new use cases, hopefully, and you see how MicroStream can be actually used. Because what usually happens out of a library, underestimates the possibilities. So often something was created for one purpose and is used in complete different area, and this you could be amazed how it was used. By the way, we are after the JCon conference, so you were one of the organizers, or what is actually your role? I forgot to ask you about that. So I only know that you are always, very eager to make JCon great, but what is your role?
Yeah, I'm editor-in-chief of the Java Pro magazine, which is, I guess, the very first free Java magazine on the planet. So every Java developer can have it for free, and we deliver it for free. And the JCon conference is organized by Java Pro.
Okay.
So I'm one of the organizers, and from this year the Java user groups are also involved. So this year the Java user group Oberpfalz was involved in the organization, and we have many Java user groups from different countries supporting JCon. And we provided them Java user group tickets for free. So everybody who is member of a Java user group can join the JCon for free. And we want to, that JCon is a community conference, and I'm one of the organizer, and of course it's kind of like baby for me.
Yeah.
And it's it's really fun, and it's great to see that we get more and more speakers, more international speakers, more participants from different countries. So we have people from Java user groups from France, from the US also, from Chile, and it's great to see how this community grows and grows more. Yeah, and we want to provide JCon as a really Java community conference, organized from people from the community for people for the Java community people.
I participated as I delivered to session at JCon. I was really pleasantly surprised by the quality. So I had, I think there was onboarding with you or with you, I think first, or with Richard, and then there was a nice intro video, which really remember me the Java one. I don't know, around 2000. There are similar videos, like a futuristic videos, which really looked nice. So it was well done, professional. And it was a nice overall experience. I was so pleasantly surprised because I know it's a first online edition of the JCon. Last year I was in Düsseldorf in the cinema. I asked, why not in Bavarian Forest? But you insisted to have in Düsseldorf cinemas. Okay. But I think next year either it will be online again or you get the cinema probably really cheap, right? Next year.
No, it can be even very expensive. So next year. So if you do it,
you're right, because the demand is higher. Everyone would like to go to cinema, right?
Yeah, when we break the rules, then
you're right. So thank you. So where people can find you? So you have some, Uri's, MicroStream, and your company, jcon.1. This would I remember. This is the only, Uri I remember, jcon.1, because of the one, like Java one, right?
Yes. jcon.1 is the conference, and javapro.io is the URL for the Java Pro magazine. And then we have microstream.1.
Okay.
Everybody who's interested in
don't
MicroStream.
Cross the streams, right? There could be only one. You know the saying, don't cross the stream? Yeah, of course.
Yes. Yeah. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
Right. Ghostbusters.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah,
by the way, the reminding thing, you saw the last Ghostbusters?
No, not
the
yet.
New one? You have to look at this. So they're just women. I think there's this only one guy, but it is really funny. It's funnier than I think. Than I thought. So you have to watch it.
Really?
As a MicroStream, you have to watch Ghostbusters because of the streaming. So this is like, the 2016 or something.
You actually are right. Yes.
Yeah, you have to do it.
I have not much time the last years.
But this is like a professional, work just to watch the last Ghostbusters and then,
Okay, I will do this.
Okay, thank you. And I would re-invite you back next year and see how it went, the open sourcing of your engine.
Great, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for having me.